In this WebinarJam tutorial, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to set up your live webinars in WebinarJam. So if you're looking to do live webinars, then in my opinion, WebinarJam is absolutely one of the best platforms out there that you can use for this. It's really easy to use and it's a pretty powerful piece of software. Now, first of all, I'm going to walk you through a quick and simple setup to get your webinars live or scheduled as quick as possible. And then I'll walk you through a more detailed setup. It takes a little bit more time, but still only a matter of minutes. It gives you the ability to use all different features that WebinarJam offers, and some of those features are pretty cool. Now, if you already have a WebinarJam account, then feel free to follow along with me in this tutorial. Or if you don't yet have a WebinarJam account, then you can get access to a 14-day trial for $1 via the link in the description below this video. And if you stick with me to the end of this video, then I'm also going to show you how to get 30% off of any WebinarJam plan you choose. Now, with that said, let's get into the tutorial and I'll show you how to use WebinarJam. So once you're logged into WebinarJam, you're going to see a page look something like this. You've got, first of all, your home page, and then the webinar page, which is this page here, shows you all your scheduled webinars and also the button to add new webinars. Then you have a tab for your analytics, and you can select by sessions or events, click on go, and then see more details about the analytics of your webinars. Then you have a page for your registrants. Again, you can select by session or by all events, and then see details on those registrants, for example, their behavior in the live room, their behavior on the replays, and their purchase behavior. And then you have the training section, which give you more information if you need it on various things to do with WebinarJam. At the top here, you have your team members, Facebook group, support, your profile, and logout. Now, in order to set up a new webinar, we come to the webinar page, click on the Add Webinar button. Now, first of all, we have two options, which is Express configuration, which can be done as quick as within 60 seconds, or the full configuration, which could take about 10 minutes, that gives you the full power of WebinarJam with this option. So first of all, I'll show you the Express configuration, then I'll walk you through the full configuration. So with Express, to get your webinar up and live or scheduled as quick as possible, once you've clicked to select, we'll go to the next button. Now here we've got an option to run your webinar right now if you're ready to go. That's of course if you and your participants are ready to go, or you can schedule it for later, or you can set an always on webinar. So this means your webinar room will be reserved and always ready for you to log in on demand. So we're going to go for schedule for later. So click to select, then click on the next button. And now here we have the start of the setup process. So first of all, we have to name our webinar, and then we have to give a title to the webinar, and then a description of the webinar. And then here, of course, we can select our language, and the presenters will be listed on this side. So if you're the only presenter, then you'll be right here, or you can add new presenters right here as well. Click on Save to go to the next step. And now you see this box will appear here for you to configure the DKIM for the emails. Because what will happen is once new attendees register for your webinar, WebinarJam will automatically send out emails on your behalf. So first of all, they'll get an email instantly to confirm their registration and to give them the link to the webinar. And then a second email they'll send out 15 minutes before on your behalf. Now you can absolutely add more emails to be sent out if you want to. We'll get to that in a minute. But that's just a quick explanation to explain what this is. So all you need to do is just check the checkbox and then click on Save and you're good. And now here for the webinar schedule, we've got the options of either is this a one-off single webinar, or is there going to be multiple sessions in this webinar that you need them to attend like once a week for a month, for example, or if this is a recurring webinar, it's always going to be every Tuesday, for example, at 3 p.m. every week for 6 months, as an example. So depending on what you want to do, make your selection. I'm going to select this for a one-off single session. And now this box here is the registration box that your attendees will see. So they'll put their name and email address in, and they'll have the option for the date. So here, even though this is a one-off webinar, the attendee can only attend one time, you can select multiple times that this webinar will be held if you want to, or just select just a one-time date. And you do that down here. So if I just choose a date, set up the date and time, let's, I don't know, put it at 3 p.m. and then choose a time zone. And then if I wanted to add more time slots for this webinar, like we see here, all I need to do is click on the add button, and I get another option to add a new time and date. So I'm just going to leave it on 1 for now, just to save time. Then down here, you can toggle this on to enable the time to show in the time zone of your attendees, which I definitely think is a good idea. And then click Save. And then the next option here is designing our registration page. So WebinarJam will actually create a landing page for you. Inside your WebinarJam account, you can actually set up your registration page, which is pretty nice. You have all these various templates you can choose from here. You can also, if you want to, embed your webinar into a page on your own website if you prefer to do that. And I'll show you where the option for that is in a sec. But let's say we're going to go ahead and use one of these registration page templates that come with WebinarJam, and we can preview any of them by clicking on the preview button. Quite like the look of this. So let's select this, click on Customize. And now here, WebinarJam is asking you how you want the registration to appear on your page. So for example, if you choose this option, this is a registration bar. So if you look at the bottom of this graphic, you see this long blue bar at the bottom. that will be the actual registration section on your page, which I'll show you in a minute. It'll be clear in a sec. Or if you prefer the bubble option, it will look like this little blue box on your page. Or if you just want a registration button, it will look something like this. Or if you want to embed it on your website, you choose this option, and then instead of using WebinarJam's registration page, you can just use the embed code and embed this into a page on your own website. So I'm going to choose this registration bar option for this example, click on Launch Builder, and now it's going to bring us into the page editor for our page. And now here, this is what I mean, the bottom down here, this bar, this is where the registration, the actual webinar will be. So this is not configurable in this view within the page builder because we've already set the time and the date. So WebinarJam will configure this automatically for you and put the countdown timer in. But rather than the rest of the page, anything you hover over, you'll see this little pencil mark appears and you can select and then make your edits. Or of course, if you want to change your video, click on here and you can embed your video right in here. You can select this video to autoplay or for sound to be muted. Your attendees first visit this page, or if you want the sound on, or you can also choose to show or not show the controls of the video as well. Then click on save. And then you can add more presenters down here if you've got more presenters and so on. So this is all pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Then once you've customized your page how you want it, come over to the top button at the top right, it says actions, and then click on save and exit. Now your page is set up, click on save for this section. And now here is the section for the pre-webinar notification emails I just mentioned earlier. So by default, WebinarJam is going to send on your behalf an email immediately to your new registrants. And if you want to edit that email, it comes a little pencil icon right here, and you can edit all the information. WebinarJam is actually also going to already automatically put in the time and date, put in the title for you, and the link and the password to the webinar room. And of course, you can add any more content you want to this as you wish, or you can delete the email completely if you want to. And then the second email they'll send on your behalf by default is the same, but it's 15 minutes before the start of the webinar. And again, you can edit that email right here. Now, WebinarJam also gives you the ability to add up to 10 more emails in this section if you want to. If you feel necessary to add 10 emails, that's quite a lot. But for example, if someone registers like 2 weeks before your webinar, then in that case, you might want to add a couple more pre-webinar email reminders, which you can do right here. Or if you want to send replay emails after the webinar event has occurred, you can add a few replay emails right here. And WebinarJam is automatically going to generate that replay link and password for you and so on. Now, this is pretty nice. WebinarJam is going to do this for you automatically using their email sending service. However, if you want to, you can connect this to your own autoresponder and have that send out your emails if you want to. I can show you where you would do that in this video a little bit later. Anyway, let's click on save to this section and then click finish and you're good to go. It's as simple and as quick as that for the quick configuration setup for your webinar. Click and go to dashboard, and now we will see the top of our list right here is our webinar all scheduled and ready to go. If you click on your links, here we've got the option under link to registration page. Here we can copy the link. If you want to send this to any of your audience, they can go directly to this link, which I'll put it in a browser window right now, and it will come to our landing page where people can sign up. Or right here, we can choose the option to embed the webinar registration in a page on your website if you prefer to do that. So you can choose the registration bar, which will look like this by checking this option, and your embed code will be down the bottom here. Or you can choose the registration button, look like this, registration bubble, or the registration embed form, look like this. And then last option on this page right here is the direct link to live room. And this link right here will give people a direct access to the live room, bypassing the registration page, if you want to do that for whatever reason. Let's close on this right now. And then here we can run a test of our webinar as well. So when we run a test, we click on the test button. First of all, WebinarJam is going to take a few seconds to do some checks like checking your internet connection and things like that. I was going to pause the video just so I don't waste your time. And just right here, it says that this is just a test version only. However, it is going to give you pretty much the whole identical experience of what your real webinar will be. But WebinarJam don't want you to use this testing version to actually run your live webinar because they use a lower amount of CPU for this. So it won't actually be efficient using the test version for your actual webinar. So just bear that in mind. And then also you can't record your test version or run analytics. So please just only use this for testing purposes. So I click on presenter and I'm going to click on the little arrow to go to the live room. Now this is going to open up, well, first of all, it's going to run through a few checks right here. Then after that, click on the continue button. And now it's going to open up the live webinar room after it's tested your audio and visual. So first of all, WebinarJam just wants to check that you can see and hear yourself. Click on yes. So there might be a little bit of an echo right now because it's going to run this as a, essentially a live event. So apologies for that. Anyway, now we click enter the live room. And now this is what the live room is going to look like for you or for your attendees. So now at the top here, you've got the options to turn on or off your video. You've got the options to turn on or off your mic. We can change the background effects right here if you want to put a different background in or blur your background or whatever. And then here we have the screen share turning on and off. And then here we have the option for writing on the whiteboard if you need to explain some things to your attendees during your webinar, which is a pretty nice feature. So I just turn that off and it comes back to the main view of our webinar. And down the side here, we've got more settings. We've got our attendees. We can see in the sidebar right here, we've got the chat. We can run polls. So you can start to survey your attendees during the webinar. We've got offers where you can add new offers and products that you want to let them know about. And we've got videos if you want to add a video into your webinar. For example, if you wanted to show them like a 2-minute clip of something, and then come back to this view of you. You can do that right here by dropping the video URL right in here. And we've got the files option where you can add and share files with your attendees. We've got the slides section where you can add a new presentation. Now, speaker option where you can, then we've got the agenda section where you can upload and save your agenda for the webinar. And now over in the top left corner here, this is the button to go live. Where actually you're ready, you can just click this button and you'll go live. Now, this button here is known as a panic button, which is brilliant. If something goes wrong, WebinarJam, as I said, is a pretty solid piece of kit. It's generally on the whole very reliable, but any kind of software platform you use with technology, something might go wrong. Perhaps your internet goes out or whatever. If something like that happens, all you do is click the panic button feature and WebinarJam instantly will open up a new live room for you and shift all your attendees into that live room and shift you in there as well. So there's like minimal interruption, minimal downtime of your webinar. And that way you're much less likely to lose anyone from your webinar should something go wrong. And then over here where we see the little icon next to it is a little plus button where we can invite new presenters to join you on the webinar if you're hosting the webinar with other presenters as well. So as I said, going back to this go live button, when you're ready to go live, you click on the little phone icon and you've got this option, start event, yes or no. If we click start, it's going to give you a little countdown. It might take a few seconds. And then your webinar now is live. And that's it, pretty simple. And to end the webinar, come up to the top left and you see the little phone icon where it says end call. Click on this, select yes to end the event. And that's it. That's closing down the event for you. Okay, now, so if you want to be able to use more features within your webinar, for example, like creating pop-ups with your products or sharing files with your attendees, inserting videos within your presentation or using presentation slides, or perhaps even hooking up your own autoresponder to send the webinar emails, then you'll need to do a full configuration. So let me show you how to do that now. It actually only takes a few minutes. So back on the webinar page right here, come over to the top right, click on Add Webinar, and this time we're going to click on Full Configuration. Click on Next. Now here you get the same options if you want the webinar to go live right now or schedule for later, or always on webinar. Let's do another schedule for later. Click Next. And now here we've got these different settings that we need to go through to complete the full setup. So first of all, it starts off similar to how we did previously. So we need to name our webinar and give the webinar title and create a webinar description. And then of course you can also add a thumbnail if you want to. So you just click here and then choose the image from your computer. Then click Save. And then we're going to go to Webinar Presenters. And this again is the same as before. So you'll already be in here by default. But if you've got other webinar presenters that are presenting this webinar with you, then you enter their details right here. Click Save and then Streaming Service. You can use WebinarJam Live, YouTube Live, or Facebook Live. So I'm going to keep it on WebinarJam Live. Click Save and then let's go to the next button. And again, WebinarJam, because I've currently got it set up to send the emails via WebinarJam rather than my own autoresponder, just need to make sure I've checked this DKIM setting. Click Save and then let's go to Next. And now here, similar as before, I don't need to go through all this again because the first couple of steps here are the same as what we previously did. It's more the later steps, which are a bit different, which gives you access to other features. So let's just go with, as we did before, one single session and we'll set a date for it and we'll select a time and our time zone. And then again, you can put more times if you want to, but I'm just going to leave it like this for now, just to save time. Click on Save and then hit the next button. And now here, we've got more detailed options to really spruce up our webinar and also use some additional features. So first of all, we've got the registration page right here. So here again, we can choose the registration page and then customize it. So I've already shown you this before, so I don't really need to go through all of that again. Let's this time say we're going to select the registration button option, click Launch Builder. And here again, like I showed you before, you just customize your page. Let's say we've done that, click on Save and Exit, and your registration page is set up. And then we have the registration form fields. So here, this is different from the previous quick setup option we did earlier. These are the form fields currently selected. If you also want to add last name and phone number, you can do that as well. I'm going to leave it on name and email for now. Now here we've got auto subscriptions for future webinars. So if you want to give the ability to your subscribers or your attendees to subscribe to your future webinars, you can do that right here by checking this button. Now all this means is that your attendees will have the option to choose this. So this is what the opt-in form will look like. And have this button here that says also subscribe to future webinars, and they can choose to tick that or not. Click Save. And then here we've got the option to offer either a free or a paid webinar. So if it's free, you just leave it checked to the free option. But if you want to charge, then select this option right here. Now here we can set how much we want to charge for the webinar. going to enter our PayPal link so we can collect payments via PayPal. Or if you want to use a different payment gateway, then you can use this URL right here to configure your payment processing system. So you don't have to stick with PayPal. You can use something else like Stripe, for example, if you want to. So I'm going to keep it on the free webinar just for now. Click save, and then new registration notification. If you want to receive an email every time someone registers for your webinar, then you just select this option right here. Otherwise, if you don't want to keep receiving emails about that, leave it on no notification, click save. And now we can password protect our webinars as well. So if you select password required, then you just set the password. Your attendees will need to use that in order to access and join your webinar. So that's generally more useful if you're charging for your webinar, or it's webinar just to a paid private members group or something like that. Anyway, let's click save and go to next. And now your email gateway here, if you want to, you can set up your own SMTP gateway, or you can connect it to your own autoresponder if you perhaps use someone like ActiveCampaign or Aweber or someone like that. But first of all, you have to configure this within the settings of your account, and then these options will be live for you. Or of course, you can just keep it on the WebinarJam email system. So because I haven't set these up yet, I don't want to waste your time, I'm just going to leave it on WebinarJam mail for now. Click save. I'm just showing you the options you have here. And now reminder notifications. This is a section where we have our current emails by default that are set up for us on our behalf. So when someone registers for our email, they'll get the first email immediately, then the next one 15 minutes before the webinar. If you wanted to add a few more reminders prior to the webinar, you can do that right here, or the webinar replay emails you can set up right here. Then once you're happy with that, click save and next. And now here is where we have the email autoresponder integration. So these are the native integrations that we have available for us with WebinarJam. That said, if you use a different autoresponder platform that you don't actually see right here, then you can integrate it via Zapier with WebinarJam. However, that'll just take you a couple more steps. So because Zapier is an option here, we can pretty much integrate WebinarJam with any other software platform out there, really, if you need to. And then we'll just save on that, go to the next step. Now we've got third-party tracking systems. So if you're using a third-party tracking system, then you can select this option and hook up your tracking system to WebinarJam as well, which is pretty awesome. If you don't use any third-party tracking, then of course just leave it to the first option and click save, and let's go to next. And now we've got the custom confirmation page. Once a new person signs up for your webinar, they'll be sent to essentially a thank you page, and it's just confirming their registration right here. So WebinarJam has a default confirmation page, which you can of course use for simplicity, or if you prefer to send them to a custom page that's on your website, then you can do that by checking this box here and then entering the URL of the page you want to send them to once they've signed up for your webinar. Because I don't have a page set up at the moment, I'm just going to leave it on the webinar default confirmation page. You click on save. Now here we can survey our registrants, which is pretty cool. So right here, if you want to survey your attendees, select this option right here. And you've got various different ways that you can ask them questions. For example, you can set it up so it's just a one answer option, or you can have a multiple answers, short answers or long answers. So for example, if you want to set up polling questions with multiple answers, you select it here, you enter your question, and now here is where you'd write the multiple answers. And it's quick and easy for your webinar attendees just to select which answer is relevant to them. For example, something like that. So anyway, once you've got your questions set up for your survey, you click on save. And now we've got our thank you page design right here. So going back to this first option back here, if you're going to stick to using WebinarJam's default confirmation page, as I've selected right here, then in this section, here is where we choose that thank you page and customize it. Very straightforward, very similar to what we did before. Don't need to go through all that again. But essentially, you just select your page, make the edits that you want to change, customize it how you want. Now, what's really important to know is that the details of your webinar, if you've already set up, like the date and the time and the location, the link and all that sort of stuff, will automatically be pulled in here for you, which is great. So it's basically just coming in here for a few minutes, customizing the look and feel of it, maybe putting some other information in here that you want your attendees to know ahead of the webinar, maybe a little video or picture of you, and that's it. So when you're happy, go to actions, save and exit, and then go to the next stage. Almost done. Now this is pretty cool. It's powered by AI. So if you want to write out an agenda ahead of your webinar that your webinar attendees will have access to, you can do this super fast by clicking the AI Agenda Planner button. And then you just fill out a bit of basic information about your webinar, like the duration, the topic, the audience, and the goal. You'll click the Generate Agenda button, and WebinarJam's AI generator will write this out for you. And then of course you can just tweak it and edit it as you want to. And then the next option here, we've got autoplay. So if you want to enable autoplay or disable autoplay. So of course, this is for past webinars once they've already gone live, and then you're using it as an evergreen webinar after that. And then we have the countdown page design. So the actual timer that we'll see right here on your registration page, this area gives you the ability to customize this as well. And then the live room design. Again, you can customize all of this as well. So select this one. This is what it will currently look like. So there'll be the main webinar hosted right here. And then here is the picture or an image of the presenters. And if there's more than one presenter, then they'll be listed underneath each other. And you can add things like your logo. You can add a title that appears right here at the top. You can add presenter details, for example, adding some of your social icons and links to your socials and so on. Then moving on, again, we've got polls and quizzes if you want to go into more detail on that. Now, product offers, this is pretty cool. So here it says, if you're planning to promote any product or service during your webinar, you might want to pre-configure it now. Once in the live room, you will then be able to pop them up in front of your audience with a click of a mouse, which is pretty awesome. Now, I won't go into all the steps of exactly how to do that. It's pretty straightforward, but just letting you know that feature is available to you. It's a pretty powerful feature if you're trying to sell something in your webinar. All you do is you click the Add New Offer button and then fill out the details right here, your payment link, image of your products, and so on. And then once you're in the live webinar, you have the option to pop them up in front of your audience as and when you want to, which is pretty cool. Now we have video injections right here. So this is great if you want to insert like a video clip within your webinar. You can easily do that here by clicking on Add New Video. And then all you do is enter the link, the video, wherever it's located. For example, if it's on YouTube or if it's on Vimeo or whatever, and then name the video. And then you'll be able to easily insert that into your webinar as and when you need to. And now file handouts. So this is if you want to give your attendees files and documents during the webinar, you just add them right here. And slide presentations. If you want to use a presentation during your webinar, you just upload it right here and click on next. And now we have the webinar replay recording. Click on the pencil icon, and here you can allow or disallow access to the replay page after the webinar has been live. Click on save, click on next, and we're done. That's all there is to it. Let's go to dashboard now. And again, we'll see our new webinar right at the top here. And then we can run a test on the webinar or click your links to get access to your links. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I was going to show you how to get an additional 30% off of any WebinarJam plan you choose. So if you choose to continue using WebinarJam after your 14-day trial, then you can get 30% off any plan by using my coupon code right here. Now, this is only available via this page that you're seeing on the screen right now. Now, I've linked to this page in the description below this video. It's the first link in the description below this video. So if you click on that link, you'll see this page right here. You'll see WebinarJam's logo and also my logo. And that's because I've partnered with WebinarJam. So I do think they're pretty awesome. And WebinarJam has allowed me to offer my audience a coupon code for 30% off, which is pretty generous. So when you come here, copy this code. And then as you scroll down, you'll see the different pricing options right here. Now, there's monthly pricing plans or you can pay annually. Just so you know, if you do choose to pay annually, then you'll save a further 24% discount on top of the 30% discount that you get with using my code. So that's actually quite a big saving. It's more than 50% saving if you were to choose annual plan. But of course, it's up to you whether you want to sign up for monthly or annually. But bear in mind, my coupon code right here for 30% off will give you 30% off of your first payment. So if you chose monthly, it would just be 30% off of this price right here. However, if you do choose to go for annually, you'll get 30% off of the whole yearly payment, which is a massive saving. So let's just say, for example, we're going to go for a yearly plan. I'm going to go for the basic yearly plan. Click this button right here to get your 14-day trial for $1. Now, first of all, you need to fill out your information right here. Click the continue button, and on the next page right here, here is where we have the option to enter our coupon code. Now, bearing in mind, this is an annual plan I've selected. So I enter my code and then click on the tick button. It's going to apply that discount and save my 30% off. Now, since I'm currently signing up for a 14-day trial for $1, well, it's actually $1.20 because they add the tax, I won't be charged for the annual plan until my 14 days are up. But if for whatever reason you decide WebinarJam is not for you, that's no problem. You just cancel your trial before the 14 days are up and then you won't be charged. However, if you're loving WebinarJam and you want to keep your 30% discount, don't need to do anything. After your 14-day trial is up, you'll automatically be billed and you'll receive your 30% discount. Click continue and you can complete your sign-up process. So I hope you enjoyed this webinar tutorial. I hope it showed you everything you need to know in order to make a decision if WebinarJam is right for you. But of course, check it out for yourself, get access to the 14-day trial, and run a couple of webinars with it and see how you like it. Now, if you've got value from this video, then please do like, share, and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot and I really appreciate it. Now, if you want to see more step-by-step tutorials on various tech tools that can help you with your business, or if you want to see some videos on some awesome software with decent discount offers, then you can click my channel icon on the screen right now and go and check out my other videos on my channel.